Greetings to my fellow peace blunderers and welcome to my new video where I'm going to give you a proper practical piece of advice based on one of the positions that I've recently had. And if you just so happen to find this video useful, please like and subscribe, it helps me out massively, love you. Okay, so in this position I'm white and I'm playing absolutely crap, and admittedly, I do that more often than I breathe in air, but that one was especially painful. I'm down a lot of material and my king is less safe than a chocolate cake at a children's party. However, from this point, things are starting to go wrong for black as I'm trying to swindle the position in my favor. The first decision by black that I didn't like, and what was basically the cause of everything that happened after, was queen takes b4. When you are 5 points ahead in material, I don't really see the use in grabbing another pawn. You should probably develop your pieces instead. On top of that, the queen on b4 is now slightly misplaced. And this move made me think, okay, I'm terribly losing, and the only way I can somehow possibly win is if I start playing for tricks. And seeing how I'm completely dominating the king side with areas of influence marked by arrows, and how my opponent is quite underdeveloped whilst the queen on b4 isn't doing him any favors either, I'm giving myself a last-ditch chance to maybe force some kind of mistake. I started with f6, trying to figure out what my opponent does about his g7 pawn. And allow me to repeat, if black plays correctly, there is absolutely nothing I can do to even have a slight chance. But when you are 6 points down in material, you need to make moves that are not always precise, but the most tricky. And if your tricks don't work, you're gonna lose anyway. So always struggle to the last drop of blood. You never know how many games you can save that way. Spoiler, just like I managed to save this one. Anyway, even with this provocative move, I'm still losing by -9 points according to the engine, and it's not even like black has this only move to keep his advantage, he's got plenty. The easiest way to win is to bring his queen back to d2 and then transfer it to g5 so the queen is relevant to the position again and is defending the king side. For example, queen d2 allowing the capture on g7, but it's not helping me at all because black has queen g5 with check, king f2 retreating, and now queen takes g7, black is perfectly fine. Instead, however, black got a little bit scared and played what you may call the losing move, g6. And just like that, with one move, with one small gust, came the wind of change. I am now completely winning with a forced mate in 7. Allow me also to highlight that a move like g6, when the opponent's pawn is either on f6 or h6, is in most cases much inferior than just allowing to capture on g7. Because if you allow the capture on g7, your king can actually be surprisingly safe behind the opponent's pawn, whilst a move like g6 concedes the control over the critical g7 square, which can be easily exploited. The mate in 7 can be achieved by queen e3, queen h6, queen g7, as black is trying to delay the inevitable with checks coming from his queen via d4, e3, etc. Now here, I actually screwed up, and a partial reason for us playing a bit suspect is that we're both in time trouble and it's a blitz game. But I, for a small moment, let the mate in 7 slip with rook h1. On a surface level, you can kind of understand this move. The rook is coming to a great file where it attacks a weakness. However, here, from mate in 7, the position turned onto its head once again, and black is winning with -8. All black has to do is to play queen d2 and then again transfer to g5 with check. However, after the next move, it is I who will be winning yet again, with h5. Black is giving me a second chance to save myself with a mating idea, and this time I'm not missing it, queen e3. Now, in my opinion, time trouble aside, another big reason for black missing queen d2 2 times in a row is also a bit of fear. I made black fear my attack, and it was completely impotent if black played it correctly. He started making moves, and moves that are mistakes, because of a little sprinkle of panic. And there's this line of thinking that I preach, and I've mentioned in multiple videos before this: be skeptical of your opponent's threats. Whenever your opponent creates some kind of threat, your first thought shouldn't be, oh bloody hell, what do I do? Your first thought should be, So what? Trust me, more often than not, the opponent's threats are not unstoppable. When you have the belief that you can defend a position, the actual defending of it becomes much more likely and much easier. Anyway, here we have the best move, king h7, trying to protect the weak h6 square. My queen now goes to g5 with the idea of capturing on h5, and this is where I think my opponent just resigned to the fact that he would get mated, so he played bishop e6, and I honestly don't see what it achieves. The position is still kind of savable for black after bishop g4, queen takes g4, the pawn cannot capture because it's pinned, queen e1 check, a great move, attacking the rook as well. Now rook takes queen, and now because the pawn isn't pinned anymore, pawn takes queen. I'm still winning with +2, but with a lot of extra material, maybe black can muster up something and actually manage to defend. However, coming back to our position, now rook takes h5 check. Now if pawn captures, I have mate and won, so the best move is king g8, and now a very puzzle-like tactical sequence. Rook h8 check, king takes, queen h6 check, king g8, and now queen g7 delivers mate. So yeah, never resign, don't be afraid to create threats, don't be afraid to defend threats, and generally just don't play like me so you don't end up in these situations. And that is going to be it, my favorite unintentional gambiteers. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, don't forget to like and subscribe, and as per usual, may all your chess moves on the board be exclam moves, and have an excellent day. Love you guys, see you in the next one.